One of the important things we've been thinking about lately for our next project is the name of the game. And while I realize a rose by any other name would still smell as sweet, I think the name is really important for the purposes of marketing and selling your game and spreading the word about it. And um, I was recently looking at the Steam popular new releases, and you have a little icon that's, I don't know, like 250 pixels by like 130 or something like that, and then you have the name and some categories for the game, and that's basically how you can make an impression. And so if your name is something that doesn't seem cool or interesting, then it's tough to really grab people and get them interested. So it's definitely important, and it's something that we've struggled with for our next game. So obviously I've talked about our next game in sort of very vague details, but the general idea is it's something similar to Neverending Nightmares, but, different story, different setting, different characters. There's a number of, I think, gameplay improvements. I think people are going to be really happy with it. I think fans of Neverending Nightmares will like it even better, and I think people who maybe didn't dig Neverending Nightmares thought it was a little too non-interactive. There wasn't as much to do. I think we'll sort of address those concerns, at least to some extent. I mean, it's not going to become, a first-person shooter or anything. And, the art style is going to be different, but it's going to be similar, camera angle, side-scrolling sort of thing. So then, we're faced with the challenge of naming the game. And so with Neverending Nightmares, I'm very happy with the name. I think it captures the spirit of the game, and also is interesting. Oh, Neverending Nightmares, that sounds cool. Let me click through. So for the next game, we're faced with some challenges. For one thing, the greatest name ever, Neverending Nightmares, is already taken. So I mean, I think we're probably going to stick with the theme of exploring nightmares, and then that gives you psychological insight into the character, and then you wake up in reality. So I think Neverending Nightmares could be an adequate name, and certainly Neverending Nightmares 2. We could do the Silent Hill style thing where, it's different stories, but there's some commonalities, and so we just add a number. But I mean, even that's a little tricky, because I guess they really only did it for Silent Hill 2 and 4 were different, and 1, 3, and Origins all had the same story, and then then they started doing everything with colons. So I mean, since it's not a direct sequel, I'm worried that if we name it Neverending Nightmares 2, then people will be like, oh, I need to play Neverending Nightmares 1, otherwise I won't be able to appreciate this game. Which, is totally not true in our particular case, because it's not a continuation of the story. But, I mean, there are games where you definitely want to play the first one, I think, to better understand the characters. But I mean, I guess there aren't a ton of like games with such a strong story that you'd really want to know what happened in the first one. I mean, I guess if they made like a Last of Us 2, it'd be really weird. I mean, assuming it's the same characters and a continuation of that story, I think it'd be really weird to play that without playing The Last of Us 1. But I mean, like, Uncharted 2, I don't think you necessarily needed Uncharted 1 or God of War. I mean, the story doesn't matter that much in God of War, I don't think. I mean, hopefully I won't offend anyone. by saying that, but I don't think many people play God of War for the story. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad story, but I'm just saying that's not the appeal for the game. Anyway, so there's of course, you know, like what I was talking about with Silent Hill, you know, The Room, Homecoming, things like that. The question is, I mean, obviously people know Silent Hill is a brand. I don't know, I have Silent Hill Origins here. It looks like there's no colon. Yeah, I can probably grab some other Silent Hill games over here. Well, I guess Silent Hill 2, oh no, maybe that's just because I have the Xbox. Sorry, I'm not talking to the camera, but here's the Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams. But I don't know if it was only called Restless Dreams for the Xbox Super Special Edition. Silent Hill 4 The Room, no colon. So I guess there's that, not using a colon. But I mean, if we did, like, you know, Neverending Nightmares, colon, something about our new game, it's tough. I mean, certainly the name would be kind of long. And if we were to do more versions of Neverending Nightmares, the original, for whatever reason, Redux, Remastered, Special Edition, Deluxe Edition, or whatever, you know, presumably that would be like Neverending Nightmares, Deluxe Edition, and then, you know, maybe there would be some ambiguity. And certainly I'm not saying we would do that, but I'm saying if we did do that, then it would be, complicated. So I don't know. I mean, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm stuck in that I don't have a name that I'm particularly happy with. You know, and you know, the original, the new names I'm thinking of aren't as catchy to me, at least, as Neverending Nightmares. So I don't know, it's something I was still going to think about, although I've been putting it off, because it just seems too hard, which probably isn't the best sign, but, hopefully I'll have some more, time to give it some thought, and maybe post something on the backers forum or something. Anyway, thanks for watching.